I never knew my parents' proposal story or their love story, and you know, Mom, Dad, if you're watching this, it's not your fault. It's nothing that you guys did. We never knew that. And I feel like in our society and in culture today, we've lost the art of creating our own love story. And I knew from the very beginning with Alex that I wanted to create a story that lasts forever, and not just for me, but for my kids. If they ever watch this, I want them to know that, you know, life should not just be about just going through the motions and just doing whatever feels right with it. That with intentionality, you can create something that actually lasts a lot longer than you do. When Alex and I first started talking about getting married and a proposal, I asked her, hey, you know, what would you like for a proposal? You know, what would be cool for you? And she gave me one thing. She said, I'd like to have a conversation. Well, that's great. It's not a lot to go off of, a conversation. I mean, what do you do with that? I mean, you can have a conversation anywhere. You can have a conversation on a mountain. You can have a conversation on a freaking plane, you know. What am I supposed to do with the conversation? And so I started thinking about all these things, where to make this conversation, how to make it happen, and elaborate in New York. I could do all these different things. And then after 2 weeks of just thinking and thinking and thinking, I realized that, man, what didn't matter where the conversation took place. What was in the conversation is what was most important. And if God wasn't in that conversation, then the conversation is basically meaningless. So I started to pray and think about, God, you know, what do you want to say? What do you want to say through me to Alex in this moment? How can I prophetically speak to our situation? And God gave me a great verse in John 15 talking about how He is the vine and we are the branches, and how we cannot produce fruit without Him. And right now, me and Alex, we're doing a lot of great things for God, and separately, and we're going to come together, and I know that we're going to be able to do great things together. But God was simply reminding me that it wasn't us that was making it happen, that it was Him, that He was producing the great fruit through us, and will continue to do that if we stay connected to Him in our marriage. And that conversation, that word from God is all that I needed in order to make that conversation meaningful to her. Went on from there and trying to figure out how we could make this happen, and still started trying to plan and make it extravagant. How can I tie in vines and branches, and taking all this time to think about it. And I just realized that the simple things are the most important things, and the simple things actually end up being the best things. And so I just made it really simple. We're doing a cover story, a double date, and it's going to be a surprise. We're going to have some friends. I'm going to do it on a rooftop because I asked her to be my girlfriend on a rooftop in Dallas, so I thought, hey, another rooftop could be pretty great as well. And from that point on, I just know that whatever happens, happens, and it's going to be as simple as it can be, because the most important thing is what God is speaking, not necessarily all the things around it. I just realized through the whole thing, this whole proposal, that the proposal wasn't even the hardest thing. The ring, getting the ring and paying for it before I actually had it was the most important thing. A lot of people today get a ring on a loan or whatever, but I wanted to pay for it in cash from my own money, in my own hands, and that took a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice. And Alex had given me some ideas and a price range, but I wanted to give her more than that. What I felt like I could give, the best that I could give, the absolute greatest price that I could pay for it. And I didn't realize how hard that would be, how much time that would take. And I just kept saying to myself the whole time, nothing worth having comes easy, and anything of value has a great price. And Alex, I want you to know that I love you so much, and I would give my entire life for you, and it took a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice for this, but you're worth so much more than what I could give you. This is not the most incredible ring in the world, but you're worth it. You're absolutely worth all the pain, all the toil, all the hard work, every bit of blood, sweat, and tears, and thinking, and all that it took. You're worth far more than what I could give you, and I'm so thankful to have had the opportunity to actually work for something that I know is going to last forever. And I want you to know that I love you. Alex.
Oh my gosh!
Are you married?
Yes! Yes!
Hope that you love it. This can be something that you can have
Love you, babe. So when I walked into the house, I was completely just blown away by how many people were there. But it was so cool for me because I actually saw 3 of my friends in the back of the room that had driven all the way from Alabama just to be here for the proposal. And I started weeping. I'm pretty sure the first thing that I said was, Alyssa! And just started weeping. It was just so cool. The whole house was completely packed. So I was completely shocked to see so many people, and it just reminded me so much of how many people that we have that really love us, and I'm just so blessed. We're so blessed with so many great friends. It's just overwhelming in such a good way.